What's up, nail geeks, and welcome to a Lurid Lacquer video. I am so excited for this. All year long, I have raved about this brand. She is new to the indie community as a maker, and I have said for a long time, I was like, okay, over the last several months, I'm like, I love this brand. She's got bright, bold, beautiful colors, and I was like, oh, this is just fantastic. And then I had this thought to myself. I was like, if she does bright colors so well, I can't imagine what she's going to do for fall and whatnot. And just this, almost like breaking news happened.
This just in. Lurid Lacquer nails dark colors as well. We're bringing you the story first, right here on TPM TV.
It's almost like the news was like listening. That's indie news. Who knew? Anyways, so we have 2 releases for September for this month for her Halloween extravaganza. I'm so freaking pumped for these. We have an advent, pretty much a Halloween advent, and then we also have the collection you're going to see in this video. So we have the Unshakable Sense of Foreboding Part 1 and Part 2 to check out. The advent, if you don't, you're like, I don't really subscribe to mystery things, whatever. With this brand, I personally would. It will be back at a later date, but we'll get all to that information at the recap for the video when I go over sale information. So in this video, we have the Unshakable Sense of Foreboding Part 2 collection. You have no idea how many times I had to re-say that because I kept saying it as unsensible, shakeable afoot. Anyways, I have Part 2 to show you all. That is not part of the advent per se. And then I also have, we have some charity polishes for this month too. Really super near and dear to my heart, and I know to Karen's heart too. We have the bleeding disorder awareness polish, and then we also have the pregnancy loss and remembrance day polish, which that just means a lot to me. I didn't talk about it at the beginning of this year a whole lot because I wasn't ready to talk about it yet, but I personally had a loss at the very beginning of this year, super upsetting, and it's just I've gotten to the point where I could talk about it now, but I think it's really cool to raise some awareness for this specific cause too. So we have that to check out. We also have a Autumnal Beauty polish. It's a Sibling Unicorn Pea polish. This is a pigment. Unicorn Pea is a pigment that is a fine particle discontinued shimmer that goes from red to green. Yours truly collects those actually. And this is a sibling to it. So meaning the sibling usually is like blue to green. And I think there's another one. There's a green to something else, but the main one is that red to green, and then the one I usually see as a sibling is that blue to green. And then we also have the Autumnal Beauty. There's the Aurora shimmer. Aurora shimmer was kind of like the answer to the unicorn pea pigment situation several years ago, where everyone wanted this pea pigment, and then it's like, well, Auroras came out, and they had some of them have a very similar shift to the unicorn pea with the red to green shift. And then, of course, we see Aurora pigments all over the place now, especially in Lurid's stuff. So that's going to be there too. And then we also have a Sparkling Indecision. This is a birthday polish for the maker. So we're going to talk about the launch information at the end of the video. I'm going to quit yammering. Let's dive into the swatches and check out some Halloween badassery. We're going to start off with Sparkling Indecision, my top pick in this entire video. This is described as a clear base packed with large particle aurora shimmer that shifts from pink to orange to gold and silver light reflective glitter. If there is one polish you can get out of this entire collection, make it this one. It is chef's freaking kiss. It's so sparkly and pretty and glowy and depth. And how many ways can I say I love this polish? I chose to take it up to 3 coats because I'm very extra and I have huge nails. I think most people across the board are going to be just fine at 2 coats though. This will dry down with a lot of texture and thirstiness. So I finished with a glossy top coat and a glitter smoothing top coat together, and it's smoothed out and so shifty on the shimmer, but also so sparkly. An Unshakable Sense of Foreboding is described as a deep blue base with twinkly green to blue aurora shimmer and silver light reflective glitter. It does state in our PR information that this one may stain, so use a good protective base. Now, I want to note on my falsies that are usually pretty porous, I did not have staining, but just wanted to report that if I know a lot of you are using my falsies right now, but just wanted to share that. This is another one, like just damn, this whole collection. I stopped at 2 coats. This is another one that is just stunning in person. You have to see this. And oh my goodness, I did finish with a good glossy top coat and a glitter smoother. Burgeoning Dread is a lightly tinted cool brown jelly base with aurora shimmer that shifts from rose gold to orange to green and silver light reflective glitter. I'm telling y'all, like, I know I just rave about this brand on every single video I've done, but when you see them in person, I just, it's true. These are gorgeous and they are so packed full of goodies. Wait till you see the Willet Topper segment. Burgeoning Dread also has that heavier type of formula to it as the previous 2. So I'm going to suggest 2, maybe 3 coats. I chose to take this one up to 3 coats because, again, wide load nail problem, and it was perfect for me. I did go in a touch lighter on my application though. So your preference on whether or not you go to 2 normal or 3 light coats. Creeping Horror is a rich reddish purple base with purple to pink shimmer and red light reflective glitter. This one's really interesting. So indoor lighting situations like straight on direct light, you're going to see what you see on the video here. Now in shaded lighting and just kind of more dull type of lighting situations, you'll see this almost strong duochrome effect take place. It's very much like my macro shot you'll see here in just a moment. Now I'm going to suggest 2, maybe 3 coats if you have like super long claws, but this is another one that's a heavy formula and so opaque in opacity. It's just ridiculously beautiful. Again, glitter smoothing top coat and glossy top coat. Looming Shadows is a deep, cool, blackened brown jelly base with aurora shimmer that shifts from red to orange to gold with holographic pigment and silver light reflective glitter. So another one that was just magical. And this was really the one that I was like, okay, Lurid, I see you. And I don't typically like dark colors. I don't typically like black polish or anything of this sort. It's just not something I gravitate towards, but I stand corrected. This is amazing. Now, I chose to take this one up to 3 lighter coats. So across the board, these are all pretty identical in formula, especially because we have a lot of special effects going with each of them. So lighter types of coats, it's going to maybe take you 3 coats if you have the wide load nail problem like myself. But again, I really do think 2 normal coats for most people are going to be just fine. Eerie Glow is a semi-sheer cool pink curly base with glowy green aurora shimmer that shifts subtly over to aqua at the most extreme angles. This is the part of the collection where we're going to start seeing shimmer bombs and shimmery goodness. So Eerie Glow is what I would describe as being a true type of milky finish. You're going to see a visible nail line on a prominent free edge on pretty much the next few that we have left for this collection, pretty much all the shimmer bombs. If that bothers you, I'm going to suggest a nude to you cream base or a blurring base coat of some sort. I chose to take this up to 3 coats. It has a wonderful plumping curly formula and it will dry down flat, so use a good glossy top coat. Fading Light is a sheer violet jelly base packed with super shifty aurora shimmer that shifts from pink to orange to gold. I almost read that as violent, and I was like, yes, it's almost violent how much these releases are coming for our wallets. It's just magical, but your nails are going to look hella pretty though. Anyways, Fading Light is another lighter type of formula, very much like Eerie Glow. I think it's just the tiniest bit less, say, milky than Eerie Glow, and I'm still going to suggest 3 coats. This almost has a metallic type feel and how it builds up and the brush strokes in general, so just go in light and allow that paddle brush to do the work for you to prevent any type of potential streaking. I had no issues with that, but I figured it was just something to note because we do have a lot of shimmer here. Swirling Mist is a sheer purple-gray jelly base with super shifty large particle aurora pigment that shifts from green to pink. Now, the particle size to this shimmer is a touch larger, almost, in my opinion, flirting with being a foil type of finish. We've got that glistening looking almost like sunlight on water effect, or as what I called it a couple months back, I think I called it a mermaid's bra, that kind of thing. You get the idea. This will also have that almost chrome-like feel on application. Go in light to prevent any type of potential streaking, and finish with a glossy top coat, as this will dry down very, very flat. And this is another one, very, very shifty and more of a vampier type of way. Wailing Winds is the last one for the collection. This is a smoky mauve base with aurora shimmer that shifts from a silvery pink to teal. This one was really interesting. It was actually the first bottle when I sat down to swatch this set, and I was very just kind of blown away with it. It's got that princessy type of vibe to it, and it's almost chrome-like, but in a really fine particle sense, if that makes sense. I'm going to suggest 3 coats on this one. It's got probably the lightest formula, I would have to say, out of the entire release, and quite delicate overall in the final finish. Finish with a good glossy top coat, because this will also dry down very flat, but very much like the other sheer lighter shimmer bombs in this collection, these last couple, I would suggest a nude to your base coat or a blurring base coat of some sort if you have a prominent free edge. And this next little segment here is the extras that we have for this month, including the charity polishes. So we're going to start off with Autumnal Beauty. This is the Aurora pigment version and is described as a deep purple base with aurora shimmer that shifts from a golden orange to green. It does state in our PR information that this one may stain, so please use a good base coat to protect yourself. Now, I took this one up to 3 coats. True to any type of jelly dominant type of shimmer finish, it's going to somewhat be pretty full coverage on the second coat, but these types of polishes, I always take up to 3 coats. If you're wanting to spare your bottle and say have it last a little longer, you can absolutely find a somewhat similar undie to match up with it. This is a great example of the difference between Aurora pigment and Sibling Unicorn Pea pigment, in that the pigment is on the larger particle size. And seeing the unicorn sibling version of it, I think it'll kind of make a little bit more sense if you're new to indie polish and all this pigment lore, things like that. The unicorn sibling one is officially described as a deep purple base packed with sibling UP shimmer, unicorn pea shimmer, that shifts from gold to green and to blue at the most extreme angles. This one also has the stain disclaimer to it. We also have a very smooth jelly formula going on as the base color itself. I'm taking this one very slow and steady though, so we can all see how satisfying unicorn pea siblings are. It's a very fine particle type of pigment, and when you build it up, you're going to see this almost velvet looking glow with it. It is beautiful. Now, please note, unicorn pea pigment has these beautiful contrasting types of color roll shifts to them. So they are incredibly difficult to capture. This one has a strong green dominant secondary shift to it. You'll kind of see it on my macro shot here in just a moment, but please know it's more obvious in person. It's just that fine particle shimmer and trying to get a flattering picture of your hand without it being, too extreme of an angle. It is just, it's almost like chasing its own unicorn itself. So please note there's a beautiful green shift to this, and there is a blue at the most extreme reaches. Blood Bag is the first charity polish. This one's described as a rich oxblood red base with aurora shimmer that shifts from red to orange. It does state that this one might also be a stainer, so disclaimer applies there for that. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Organization for Rare Disorders. You need Blood Bag. I'm telling you, you need it. This is a damn near flirting with being a 1-coater polish. I'm going to suggest 2 coats for opacity to plump it up and get it nice and even on your nails. My full hand shot gives you a really good idea of how vampy and delicious this one is, but my macro shot here in just a moment gives you a fantastic, it just tells the story better of what the shimmer looks like in person. This is glorious. It will dry down very flat, so use a good glossy top coat. And then we've got the I Love You Always. This is a semi-sheer indigo jelly base with aurora shimmer that shifts green to purple. This is the one where $1 from every bottle sold will go to Planned Parenthood. This is, I don't know. I see a lot of the thought that went into this, and I love that it's allowing the shimmer to shine through. And I love that it goes from like this blue with this aqua type of shimmer over to this lovely pink. So I think it kind of ties in with the awareness ribbon really well. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. This is what I would describe as a true sheer. So that disclaimer applies here too for base coats. Now, moving on here, I'm going to have just a couple of extras to share with you all for this video. These were sent to me for absolutely no obligation. Kara knows I'm an absolute nut for her polishes, and she was kind enough to send these over to my way because she's literally a Pokemon for me, and I'm catching them all. But I figured I'm here to spread the Lurid Lacquer love and Dirty Enable because I want everyone to love this brand as much as I do. So we're going to go over and I'm going to show you all the swatches for last month's 3 color of the months and 1 of 2 of the limited editions. So the first one here is part of the color of the month trio and is Joie de Vivre. I think I said that correctly. This one's described as a clear base with vibrant pink, red, orange, and gold iridescent flakes with bright green reflective glitter. This is really pretty, and I'm just so incredibly picky on flakes, but I have to say these flakes are awesome. They give this very mylar, rainbowy, like shifty look to them. They're just so iridescent. We have a lot of glitter going on here too. It's very sparkly. I chose to stop at 2 coats because this is what I would consider more of a softer type of buildup. So you will see a touch of your visible nail line. And again, that disclaimer applies here. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. This is beautiful and so sparkly. Plant Ant is a neon green base with glowy green shimmer that shifts subtly to teal at extremes. I smile at this one because it reminds me of when I was in grad school and I had some of my girlfriends were so into plants and animals really. But anyways, it just makes me smile because they brought them into our TA office. And anyways, I digress. This one is a true neon green. It is stunning. The official description is a neon green base with glowy green shimmer that shifts subtly to teal at the most extreme angles. It has a true curly formula, quite a bit of a plump kind of squishy bounce to it as you apply. I'm going to suggest 3 lighter coats. This does have a softer sort of buildup overall, but I thought that 3rd coat was still perfect. It will also dry down flat, so finish with a good glossy top coat. The last time I heard you laugh is a neon malachite green base with glowy blue shimmer that shifts to purple at the most extreme angles. $1 from every bottle sold will be donated to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. This is another stunner. I don't know. Green is like Lurid Lacquer's like energy crystal color, I guess, if that makes sense. This is so pretty. It's another soft type of buildup overall, but it hit really good opacity for myself on that 3rd coat. You can sort of see through my falsies on the full hand shot there on the video, but in person, when I took my hand away from the bright lights, I didn't think it was that noticeable. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. And then here we've got the Summer Cicada polishes. This one is Sleep, Wake, we'll say Fluffy, and Die. And this is a cool toned purple jelly base with black to red multichrome micro flake, red to orange shimmer, and bronze light reflective glitter. This one is essentially kind of a duo, so to speak, that goes along with the other cicada polish that Karen released, I believe, in August. So these 2 are mysteries. I figured I didn't give the disclaimer for it because it's been out for a minute. So I hope I didn't spoil that surprise for anyone. Anyways, this is so pretty. I hate cicadas and I hate bugs so much, but damn if I can't appreciate this polish. It's glowy good, it's super sparkly, and we have a lot of this almost raisin colored type of glow with it. I'm going to suggest 3 really light coats or 2 normal coats and a glitter smoothing top coat and glossy top coat. I was just really surprised with how much I liked this one. And we're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So spoiler alert, these all work incredibly well. I've seen on a lot of comments that people appreciate this segment because it shows you all how much special effect is going into each of the polishes I'm showing you all. You know, you can see one thing on a nail, but it's a whole other thing to put the black backdrop to it. And then you're just basically seeing right through it. And I think this gives a great illustration of what is going on with these polishes. They're so packed full of special effect pigments. It's glorious. I think these all work very well over black if you did want to layer them, including the reflective glitters and the shimmers respectively. They look beautiful. Now, if you did want to get a little creative and actually layer these outside of black, I would strongly suggest matchy match colors and then maybe a touch of color theory with, say, maybe each of their bases. So especially on the shimmers here, a lot of these have lighter type of tinted bases. So I think you could work with that on a variety of colors. Now, the Autumnal Beauties, both versions, if you wanted to spare your bottles, especially on the Unicorn Sibling one, because I've done this in the past on the ones that I collect that are in my personal collection, use a matchy match jelly undie. You'll thank me later. And your bottle will be spared. Anyways, Blood Bag works beautifully over black. I would only stick with black with it though. I Love You Always is very glorious over black too. And I think it's going to be best over matchy match colors. And then these last couple here, Joy looks like, I don't know, it looks like its own topper over black. Very, very cool. Plant It, I was really surprised with this one, but this one gives me vibes of like the summer releases and stuff with the greens. She does these so well and they're just chef's kiss on the shimmer. And Last Time You Laughed, same thing. And Sleep and Wake, I can't with that name. It's hilarious. This one I would stick with black only, and maybe like a royal purple would look really cool. Okay, so I'm going to put a bullet point above my head here to keep everything nice and tidy. Also, I have new captions on the videos, the last couple of videos, and that should be helpful too if you're like me and you like really good captions with stuff that you're watching. So the Unshakable Sense of Foreboding was a pre-order for that advent that happened a week ago at the time I get this video up. And the polishes you see in this video are going to go up Friday, September 13th at 6 p.m. Central Time. Karen does have an amazing website where you can make an account, have wish listing. You can put in a freaking form to request if you want something back, which unheard of in like the best way possible. So that's really cool. Get in there and make a wish list for things that you want. The polishes in this set, in the part 2 set, are tentatively capped at 200 bottles per shade. And she'll also have 20 full collection sets. Now, please keep in mind, I know 200 might freak everyone out, especially because Halloween is like, we're all going bananas. I'm right there with you all. But with that said, Karen does her best to do what she can to keep things in stock. So don't panic if you see something sell out or whatnot. Just throw that out there, because if you're like me and I'm like, no ma'am, I don't want to wait, you can do that. I just wanted to make sure y'all know that a lot of these are capped. And the charity polishes, $1 from each polish for the for Blood Bag is going to be donated to the National Organization for Rare Disorders, NORD. I will have that linked below if you would like more information on that. And the Pregnancy Loss Remembrance Day polish, that one, $1 from each polish sold will be donated to Planned Parenthood, hell yes, in support of reproductive rights and humane compassionate pregnancy loss care. I will not go on a rant as to how my journey went in that regard, but yeah, so super cool there. And the Autumnal Beauty, the Sibling Unicorn P polish. She does state in her PR information, I'm reading it verbatim here, that these are tentatively capped at 100 bottles and they are limited to one per person, which I totally understand that, because resale stuff for LEs, I know they tend to go a little high in that regard, but this polish is 26. Those pigments are not cheap at all. They are very, very expensive, especially when we start talking about Sibling Unicorn P polishes. So, and any new information I get by the time I get to editing this video is going to be around my head here. And I will have links for Lurid Lacquer in the description box below. And I'll also link you to her Instagram page. She does not have an official Facebook group, so follow her on Instagram. She has amazing, super detailed updates about what she's doing and what she's releasing, what she's working on, all that. And you can find her there. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.